The incident happened literally just around the corner from where we stood here in All Saints, and it was a year ago, November. Some guys have seen one picture, one moment, and then suddenly realised that I might not be what they first thought I was, and come back round for a second pass, this time with all their phones out the window, filming and shouting abuse at me. They did it despite the fact that it was quite a normal day and that there were plenty of people about, you know. And they were shouting some language that actually might have been more offensive to other people that were around me than me. I didn't like the way I reacted at the time, but I just reacted off the back. I shouted back at them. You do. Would I do it in that way now? No, I'd choose my words a bit more carefully and a bit more calmly. But at the time, I hadn't sort of long been open about my freedom of expression, and therefore I wasn't as confident as I am now. I've got much better at this as I've written my poetry over the last year since this thing, and I've written about similar events, and that is trying to write and therefore consider what they're seeing, what's their background, what's their story, and where that was very anger and shock generated at the time, that's been replaced a little bit by almost sympathy. Many of those making the most noise, they're the ones that are most in fear. And quite often they're just trying to prove something. They're trying to live up to some image. Like I say, in many of these cases, there has been a very clear moment where they've already seen me once, but they've only seen me from a certain angle. They've already made a decision. They've already over-invested. One thing I can definitely advise, whether you share it or not, write it, talk about it, record it for yourself, get it out, because once you can see it on paper, you can look at it again and choose elements of it and then go, what caused that element? Then think about that. Then put yourself in these other people's positions and think, why would they do that? Does it make it easier at the time? Not really. But actually it makes it a lot easier to deal with.